Hey everybody, that is Lauren. My name is Russ. Welcome to our Sunday vinyl video, going through one that we picked up at we've been to a lot of record shows lately, which is funny. My entire life when I lived in Detroit, I went to a total of one record show. But down here, they have them a lot in breweries in Jacksonville.
So that works for us.
Yeah, so I'm always like, oh, let's go to the brewery. And also there's records there. So I know we picked this up at somewhere along the lines.
Myrtle Ave Brewing. It was their record fair.
Right on.
Yep.
Doobie Brothers, Taking It to the Streets. I am historically a radio fan at best of the Doobie Brothers. Like when I say radio fan of someone, I mean like I never turned their music off, but I never bought any of their music when I was a kid.
That's fair.
And to the point where, you know how like the Doobies are one of those bands that like with lineup changes and stuff, some of their stuff sounds wildly different than others,
yes.
right? I'm aware of what era this is firmly planted in, which you're going to, okay, well, or not. But the Doobies are one of those bands that when I was a kid, when I heard different eras, I was like, really? That's the same band? You know what I mean? So I never got into them.
Yeah.
Lauren, on the other hand, was raised on all this stuff. So this is like for me, when I had my big, huge record collection up in Detroit, I didn't own any Doobie Brothers, like at all. And now we own at least this, maybe something else.
I think it's just this.
But this is one that you saw and you were like, okay, we have to have this.
Yeah.
I know the title song.
Right. So yeah, Taking It to the Streets. So the reason I was like, well, hold on a second with your, yes, with lineup changes, there are some there's a lot of wildly different Doobie Brothers stuff out there. Right. Mm-hmm. And, why I think this was an important album for me to, hello, Belladonna. Yeah. This was an important album that I wanted to have in our collection because this is the album that straddles that stuff.
Transition.
This is Michael McDonald's.
I forget, maybe Journey fans can, I think Infinity is that one for them where like it's less Greg Raleigh singing and more Steve. And it's now with the Doobie Brothers though, again, forgive me, I know the Michael McDonald. I wish I could do a better Michael McDonald, but I can't, which is why I didn't do it on camera. But whom else sang with them? Pretty much anybody.
I mean, there was a lot of vocals in the band.
But he's got such a distinctive voice, and that's why the Journey comparison flew into my head.
Yeah. So
this is the one where like, okay, so if all I knew by then was Taking It to the Street, and I bought this, how much of it would I go? This isn't what I wanted.
About 2/3 of it.
Okay, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing because I would like to grow into other things. But if a person was looking for that sound, it's not all.
It's not all of it. No, because this is like, you know, like before Michael McDonald and the band, you've got like China Grove and Blackwater and stuff like that, right?
China Grove is the one that when I was a kid, I heard that, and then I heard Taking It to the Streets years later, and I was like, what?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So this album is that transitional album, right? It's before it all Michael McDonald stuff. This is, you know, he kind of came in to fill a void and put some of his stamp on it. And then when Taking It to the Streets, the song became a hit. He was like, well, let me get Kenny Loggins in here and we're going to, you know, do that stuff with it. But yeah, I just think overall, this is a good one to just kind of like put in and like zone out.
So as far as like the vinyl version, we always try and talk about packaging, sound, price, and value. With packaging, sometimes it's kind of hard because, and I say this with no disrespect toward this record, but this is a run-of-the-mill packaged album from when vinyl was king.
Yep.
Right. Back then, it was far more rare to have a record company do the cutout cover of Physical Graffiti. Right. It was far more rare for that to happen than for many, many, many really, like Thriller's the biggest selling record of all time, and it's a basic gatefold with a picture of him in an outfit he never wore ever again outside of that, you know. So like the packaging of the biggest selling record of all time doesn't even fit that, you know.
Right.
So it's hard when you talk about this older stuff because it's like, yep, there's a cover and an inner sleeve, and the record was in that. The end.
Yep,
you know. But like,
it.
I mean, this
par for the course. It's standard, you know.
Yeah. Sound wise though, you know, when you have people like the Doobie Brothers, you have a whole gang of people who know their way around electronics, you know. But ultimately the producer is who's going to decide how a record sounds. I will say that a lot, and I don't say this because like people go like, yacht rock is like an 80s, early 80s thing. A lot of Doobie albums sound dated to me, not because the music sounds dated, but it sounds like it was recorded at a certain time.
That's fair.
And like Taking It to the Streets, again, that's the one I always think of with this record. It doesn't sound bad in that way of like, oh, they should have used better microphones. But to me, it just sounds exactly like the equipment it was recorded on then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And there's a charm to that too.
But I totally agree. But what I always try and lean on is I'm sure you've heard at least most of this album on streaming, or if I don't know if you ever owned it on CD or not.
Cassette.
Oh, okay. So even better. So from what you remember of it on cassette, what do you feel about like hearing it on vinyl? Because I feel like this is another one where you were like, oh, I've never heard that before.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. Like even for the basic pressing that it is, it sounded a lot fuller. Is that a good word for that?
No, yeah.
I mean, it did.
People get upset when you use this word, not you, but when
one uses it.
When one uses it, soundstage, to me, that's a very accurate description. Like, for me, like the way our system is set up, and we have a very modest system. We haven't even got around to reviewing that on the channel, but we will eventually. We have what I view as a very modest system, and the way we have our system set up, to me, if a record is cut correctly, it sounds like the band members are not out but far across the room, and you definitely get that.
Yeah,
with the vinyl version of this. Price, there's no two ways around it. We got a good deal on this. It was $10.
It was $10, and I was real excited. This was like I was like $10 for this, and I took a look at it. It looked great, and I was like, okay, for $10, let's try it.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, and so I like it a lot. I think it's a good record for that price. Value wise, and here's the thing where we talk a lot about like, the cost of vinyl is always escalating. Even the record shows we go to, you can walk 3 tables down and find a record in the exact same record in better shape for like, less money than you just saw at another table. Again, this has nothing to do with the quality of the music. $10 is about what you should pay for this, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't catch me dead being like, oh, well, he wants 25 for that.
No.
This is when vinyl was in its heyday. It's like the thing with Thriller again. People are always like, oh, I have my grandma's copy of Thriller. It's one of the first ones. I'm sure it's worth something. No, it is not. Like, because this is from when vinyl was in its heyday. Like, to me, if I throw a rock, I can hit 10 more people who are selling Doobie Brothers records in great shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not a Robert Ludwig Led Zeppelin 2 or anything. Like, this is a thing you're going to see a lot of. So I would just say, if you see something like this for around $10, by all means.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This, like, I feel like this is, if I were to go out on a limb, and I would say, like, if you want like a good sampler of the Doobie Brothers, like in general, without getting a hits package, this is a good album to kind of give you the swath of what they were able to do.
No, I would try, and I hope I'm right on this, but Infinity by Journey, I would do the same thing too. Like, hey, if you want to know that there's more than Don't Stop Believin', like, try that record, But anyways, we have a vinyl video every single Sunday over just things that we just have bought and we like to talk about. We have reactions on the channel. Every Thursday we have just music topics, discussion topics that interest us. So if this is your first time here, and make sure to hit subscribe, but also the notification bell, because we have a lot more going on than just vinyl. What matters more to us than anything is the interaction. So drop a comment below if you got comments on like the Doobies before Michael McDonald, afterward, this album. If there's a pressing you like better or that people should search for to get the best sound, by all means, let us know. That is Lauren. My name is Russ. Thank you so much for watching.